Hi there, thanks for tuning in. Today we have a special segment for you all on CBD. My name's Adam Cree, I'm CRO at 3EN. Today I have Gary with us, our resident expert in CBD and experienced ERP consultant. Gary, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there. My experience ultimately has come with working with a number of CBD companies, primarily Mahai Labs, who are the biggest extractors and producers of CBD and globally. I've recently finished the implementation of NetSuite for them globally, so multi-subsidiary across the US and internationally as well. So I've worked with them putting in not just finances, but also their WMS, warehouse management system, their manufacturing processes, quality standards, and taking them through an evolutionary process from Excel spreadsheets, pretty much, all the way onto an ERP system.
Okay, great, thanks. So what we're doing today is we've got a number of questions that our users have submitted to us all around CBD, its relation to NetSuite, where the market's going. So stay tuned in and I hope you enjoy it. So Gary, on that note, tell us, what direction do you think CBD is heading in?
I think the biggest direction the CBD is heading in is for greater compliance. The industry itself is growing on an exponential scale, not just within the primary market of North America, but across Europe and moving into Australasia. The big thing that is currently going on within the industry is trying to get regulations around what the product is, whether it is a novel food, is it a drug, is it of health benefit, is it not? Medication, precisely. So the big thing within the next 12 to 24 months will be the regulation and the focus that those companies need to worry about. The reason that obviously NetSuite and ERP systems is then coming into play with that is the fact that they need full traceability and auditability of their products. It's going similar to the pharmaceutical route, where they need full-scale traceability from farm to end product, and setting the standards is going to obviously benefit those companies that are putting those measures in place as of now.
Okay, great, thanks. So then secondly, we have another question in online, which is, how can I grow my CBD company in 2020? Which I know is pretty broad, but from your experience working with some of the big players, what's your take?
The big thing that's really stood out recently is a number of things. It's to do with regulation. Traceability, as I mentioned, is a massive part of it, and compliance. The other thing is the price fluctuation within the CBD sector itself. It's similar to the stock market, where it fluctuates on a daily basis, and really being able to drive your business based on your pricing, making yourself competitive, but also working within the remits of your expense. So it's not just the product that you're selling, it's also managing spend, overheads, costs, and being able to still remain profitable, even though the market is so volatile at the moment. It's a continual or it's an ever-changing marketplace, but within that, also streamlining your business, making sure that you have the traceability and auditability within your systems to allow yourself to be ahead of the market.
I was going to say, it's basically being a step ahead with where it's going. You know, obviously it's a young market, it's a growing market, but at the same time, do you see a number of these companies that obviously we're going to have a number that expand and explode into being the big players, and we already have a number of those, but do you see a lot of the smaller players that don't keep up with this trend dwindling away?
Yeah, massively. I think there's, over the past 3 to 6 months, there's been a number of sort of regulatory bodies coming out. For example, the FSA within the UK and Europe, and then the FDA and the DEA have recently just come out saying about their manufacturing processes and how they store product has to be, will eventually have to be within a DEA certified vault. Obviously that's not to do with the software, but it's planning your business around where you need to be opposed to where you are at the moment. The people that are managing off spreadsheets, they don't have that audit trail that will come back and really hurt them in the future.
It's going to be a headache to try and catch up.
Precisely. Once they have the regulations are in place, they'll be given a certain time frame that they need to meet those criteria, and some of them just won't be able to do it. The other thing about the market is, because it's of a of a cannabis base. A lot of people have come from that industry where the regulations are in certain areas are getting stricter, but they have fallen away because they haven't put in best practice, and they haven't sort of made them a robust business, and they've moved into the CBD market, which didn't have that, and the same thing will happen to them. So you won't see the people churning out CBD in their back garden or in their garage anymore. It's more of a you will need to have certified facilities, you'll need to have certified vaults, you'll also need to be audited, not just by your accounting best practices, but your manufacturing best practices and how you store your product. So there's a huge number of things that these companies are going to have to start dealing with sooner rather than later.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose it's based on demand. The demand is so high, we need to have legislation in place to make sure we're curtailing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we understand now, the direction CBD is going in. We understand now, how a company can I guess forward plan to manage their growth in 2020. So on that note, the next question we have in is how is cloud business software such as NetSuite benefiting CBD organizations?
I think the biggest thing about, not just for CBD companies, but for businesses in general, but for CBD specifically, it gives you that traceability. So whenever you're using the manufacturing module within NetSuite and the warehouse module within NetSuite, it covers, and in the CBD realm, they talk about farm to finished product. So where did the hemp come from that the product was made from? So you can trace which state it's come from, which county it's come from, when it was produced, when it was cut, all the things, when it was received, all the way through to, okay, well, what finished product did that go into? Did it go into the isolate? Did it go into the distillate, the gummies, whatever it is? It gives you that full audit trail from start to finish. It will also give you, from a manufacturing point of view, it gives you the structure that a lot of these companies need. They need the plan, they need the supply plan, they need the demand plan.
They need to react, obviously.
Exactly. So it's things like they'll be able to set work schedules for their employees, they'll be able to manage tasks for their employees, but also it will give a structured view for the management down on when product's going to be produced, where it is within the stage of the cycle. Is it finished product yet? Has it been released by QA and QC? Does it meet all the standards that it needs to meet to be able to be sold? And then once it gets into the warehouse, you can use the cloud-based software for warehouse management. So managing your warehouse, managing efficiencies within the warehouse.
So excuse my ignorance, we're getting into things like batch, lot numbers.
Lot number management, batch records, shelf locations, efficient pick walks for
bin locations, stuff like that.
Precisely. So there's lots of little things that it will give. It also, the end-to-end solution, ultimately what ERP is, it gives you from procure to pay all the way through to order to cash. So you can manage your invoicing. It's a full end-to-end solution that people don't need to manage things offline. They will be able to, on the drop of a hat, be able to produce reports, searches, for not just internal management, but also external management. So being audited by these big regulatory bodies will give them that peace of mind that they know where it's all being kept. They can produce it by the click of a button, and they can move on with producing better product and not have to worry about that.
Focus on what they want to
precisely do. The overhead isn't there because you've done all the work and put those processes in place into the ERP system.
So what you said a couple of seconds ago, going back a step, was all you simply have to do is key in the batch or the lot and find out where that's touched. To me, that sounds very trivial. Like, is that it sounds like either you're selling yourself short or this is easy to do, but I get what you're saying.
So for example, I understand what you're saying. So the ERP system like NetSuite will give you the fields that they need to pull. A lot of people will manage that on spreadsheets. So they'll have a spreadsheet for whenever the batch is produced, all their records that they can do. And they'll have to try and join up different spreadsheets and different systems to be able to produce those figures and reports and whatever they need to do. What NetSuite will do is it will have it all in one place. Once a record is saved, once it is produced, you can't change that. It gives you your full audit trail.
It's locked in.
It's locked in. The people that are doing the transactions, the people that are moving the product within NetSuite, that's all traced, and therefore, for these standards that they need to meet, they need to be able to show anybody that comes into their facility how things are being done, who's doing them, when they're taking place, and to the standards that they need to meet. So that's ultimately what the cloud-based system and NetSuite will do for them.
Yeah. So essentially what we're saying here is that this takes that burden, the manual input, manual management of data, streamlines it end to end, which is all in one place, which means for these regulatory standards and these changes, it's going to consolidate all this information and make it easier to report on and be
precisely
compliant.
Prime example is where people can sell different product to.
Yeah.
So within the US, you can't sell distillate, which is a CBD based product, which is higher in THC. You can't sell that in certain areas or certain states within the country. NetSuite will give you those parameters and stop the salespeople from processing those orders. Ultimately, if you sell to that state, you'll get in trouble. The people that are buying it will get in trouble. It just safeguards you to...
It's a web of checks and stops all over the place that makes sure you're running your business straight, efficient, compliant, and accurately.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Well, Gary, thank you very much for that today. That's been hugely insightful. Thank you for nailing some of those questions that we got in. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed that. If you have any additional questions that you'd like us to answer at some point, please feel free to leave them a comment below, comment on our website, or wherever you may be watching this. Yet again, thanks for tuning in. We hope to speak to you soon. Hi there, thanks for tuning in today. Not that. Start again.